Emma loved digging in her backyard. It was her favorite thing to do after school. She imagined it was a jungle filled with hidden treasures. One sunny afternoon, her shovel hit something hard. She brushed away the dirt and found a tarnished silver coin. It had strange markings on it, unlike any coin she had ever seen. The coin felt warm in her hand. As she rubbed it with her thumb, it started to glow. Emma gasped, dropping the coin in surprise. It clattered onto her palm, the glow intensifying until everything around her was bathed in an emerald light. The air shimmered, the trees around her seemed to melt away, and then everything went black. When Emma opened her eyes, she was no longer in her backyard. Gone were the familiar trees and her swing set. Instead, she found herself in a bustling street filled with strange-looking cars and people dressed in clothes she had only seen in old photographs. Emma was surrounded by tall buildings reaching for the sky. The cars, unlike her dad's car, were boxy and shiny with running boards on the sides. Music, unlike anything she usually listened to, spilled out from colorful cafes. A strange mix of excitement and fear bubbled inside her. People brushed past her, talking excitedly amongst themselves. The women wore their hair in bobs, their dresses shimmering with beads. The men wore suits and hats, some even carrying canes. Emma felt a giggle bubble up in her chest. She had been transported to a different time, a time that seemed full of excitement and wonder. Emma touched the coin in her pocket, its metallic surface now cool. It was her only link to her time, to her backyard and her home. Fear gave way to a thrilling sense of adventure. She had to figure out how the coin worked and find a way back home. As Emma walked down the street, she felt like she had stepped into a history book. She passed by a bakery, the smell of freshly baked bread making her stomach rumble. Next door was a music store with gramophones displayed in the window. She had only seen those in museums. A newsboy ran past, shouting headlines about something called the Charleston. Emma had learned about that in school. It was a dance, a very energetic one. She saw couples dancing to lively music coming from a cafe, their feet moving faster than she thought possible. Emma spent the rest of the day exploring the bustling city. She watched in awe as cars zoomed by, their horns honking. She saw a moving picture show being advertised, the bright posters promising adventure and romance. Everything was so different, so full of life and energy. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the street, Emma realized how tired and hungry she was. She ducked into a small diner, hoping they would have something she recognized. An old man sitting at the counter smiled kindly at her. Emma, mustering her courage, showed the old man the coin. "Do you know anything about this?" she asked. The old man's eyes widened. He took the coin, examining it closely. "This, my dear," he said, "is a time traveler's coin. It has the power to transport you through different eras." The old man explained that the coin had chosen Emma for a reason. He told her about its power, how to focus on a specific time period, and how to return to her own time. He also warned her about the dangers of changing the past, emphasizing the importance of observing without interfering. Emma spent the next few days exploring the 1920s. She learned the Charleston, tried on a flapper dress, and even rode in one of those amazing cars. But as exciting as it all was, she started to miss her family, her home, even her backyard with its hidden treasures. Holding the coin in her hand, Emma thought about all the other times she could visit. Ancient Egypt, the Renaissance, the future. The possibilities seemed endless, but she also realized that while exploring the past was exciting, she didn't belong there. With a sigh, Emma closed her eyes and focused on her backyard, her swing set, her house. She felt the familiar tug, the air shimmering around her. When she opened her eyes, she was back in her backyard. The setting sun cast the same long shadows as it had in the 1920s, but everything felt familiar, comforting. The coin felt warm in her hand, no longer glowing. It was a reminder of her incredible journey, a journey that had shown her the wonders of the past, but also the importance of home. Emma knew she would never forget her time in the Roaring Twenties, but she also knew that her own time, her own life, was just as exciting, just as full of possibilities. She tucked the coin safely away, a reminder of her adventure and the valuable lesson she had learned. That while the world was full of wonders to explore, there's no place like home.